Woof, woof, big dog.
What up, everybody? Welcome to Coffee Hour. It is Tuesday. I damn now needed some coffee this morning. It is June the 10th. We are not without issues. We're losing replays all the time. Evie Mux is working on it. So again, sorry, we lost yesterday's replay. I don't know what happened. That happens. It is what it is. If we can get it recovered, we'll put it up on there. But again, the live, it seems to doesn't affect the live, so we're okay. So that's the incentive for you to join us on the live shows, because sometimes the replays, it doesn't record it, or it's choppy or something. It's or I don't know. But any rate, that's why it's always incentive to join us live here every morning at 8 a.m. Eastern time to get Coffee Hour. Get your day started. Share with us any experiences you're having, and answer any questions you may have. So yeah, welcome. Glad to have you here. We will be dropping a couple more Bond and Ground podcasts here this week, so make sure you look out for those if you follow our podcast. So that definitely has some other grounding and bonding podcasts coming out, so make sure you keep aware of that. What else did I want to mention? Before I get too started into the show, again, as always, let me know how you're doing, what you got going on. I love to live vicariously through you and your success. So in the chat, now over on Instagram, it looks like it's stalled up and it's not working. So I don't know. So, Instagram, again, constantly has issues. So I don't know if it's working or not. So Instagram folks, sorry, it's not working. I didn't do anything. So anyway. But we always seem to be working over on Fast Track's Tube or YouTube, so make sure you check those out, because those are the preferred watching locations. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about something we got coming up. I don't know a whole lot of this. It's not done yet, but I will tell you, for folks that work out in the field, that work with raceways and all that kind of stuff, bending and all that kind of stuff, we will be coming out with a coin that is specific for you in the field. It means you keep it in your pocket. You can use this for all different types of measurements out in the field, angles and all that kind of stuff. So it's a new coin that we got coming out. It's not ready yet, but it should be here soon. So that's going to be cool. It'll be available over on our shop. But it's kind of one of those ones where it's one of those things, you're like validation of offsets and validation, all this kind of stuff. So that'll be the new coin that's coming out. And of course, when it comes out, we'll add it to the wheel and try to give some away, that type of thing. So anyway, that's kind of the only announcement we have for that. Okay, it looks like, well, I see chat. I see somebody joined the thing over on Instagram, but it doesn't look like it's playing on the screen. It looks just like it's stuck at 2 minutes and 28 seconds of the intro. So I don't know. That's I don't know. So if you're over on Instagram and you can hear me, come on over to YouTube. It's always at Master the NEC on YouTube. Okay. All right. So that's what we got going on for that. Okay. So today's topic we're going to be talking about today, and I'll go to the folks. So do me a favor, let you know who you are, where you're from in the chat. To one of the day's topics was requested by somebody, and it was to talk about low-cost marketing. Y'all have probably heard me talk about this before on podcasts. Is that with the cost of things today, everything's getting so expensive, and I get it. It's a cost of doing business. But a lot of people ask, what do I have any ideas on what you can do now? Any actionable ideas that you can do, whether you're doing a side hustle. And again, I encourage you to do the side hustle legally. Okay, make sure you do what you're supposed to do. You have the licenses you're supposed to have. So that's my disclaimer. You do you, boo. But if you're doing side hustles, or you're your own boss, or you're in your business, and you're thinking, how am I going to grow my business? What are some of the actionable things that I can do to grow my business? And we'll also look today at the office hog, just so we can ask the office hog for some ideas as well, or some concepts. So we'll kind of show you how you can use the hog to do that as well. Of course, you could use any of the chat GPT stuff to do that. We just use the hog because that's what we use. But do whatever you want in order to try to help you get ideas. Do a little to make a little, to be able to get your name out there so that you can make that next deal. Or maybe you're thinking, what can I do as a small side hustle that I want to make my full-time job at some point? Okay. Well, there's no time like the present to start building your name, form your company name. You don't have to do a bunch of work in order to create it. Yeah, yes, you might have to still pay insurances, which are cheap now. You can get insurance that's $29, $30 a month. Yes, it's still an outlay, but if you're going to do work, you want to have insurance. Because if people will sue you, they'll sue you for anything. Okay. So having insurance and all this kind of stuff, liability, all this kind of stuff. But also there's no present time than to start like now to start working on your name, your branding, your labeling, how you want to, what market you want to go into, whether you want to specialize in certain things and that be a little niche. So that, I think somebody said a quote, I can't remember who it was. It says the riches are in the niches. And what that means is if you can focus down what you do to a specific thing rather than be everything to everybody, and then you focus on it and become a specialist in that, then you can do quite well. I know some electrical contractors who have migrated to just doing things like the Alexa devices, Ring devices, the smart home stuff. They're still electricians. They do everything. It doesn't make anybody any less of an electrician, whether you're commercial or residential. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You have a license. That's all that matters. Okay? If people tell you that, they're full of crap. It does not matter. If you can pull an NM cable, you can easily learn to bend conduit. You can easily learn to pull conductors in it. It ain't brain surgery. Okay? I think people try to post these pictures all over the internet of this intricate raceways and then act like they're some freaking brain surgeon or something. And I'm sitting there going, no, you'll learn to do it. It doesn't take that long. You'll get it. So I'm like, I don't get it. That bravado that we have all over the internet, social media, like you residentials, y'all ain't nothing because us commercial. And I used to laugh and say, well, you know what? You're just following a set of drawings that somebody did for you. So what's the difference? At least the residential's got to think a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So those type of things, right? I'm like, electrician's an electrician. I don't care whether you're industrial. You can beat your chest and say your work is harder than the residential guys. I don't care. Commercial guys can say, no, my stuff's harder. Dude, it's all electrons. It's all wire. It's all whatever. If I've done a switch gear, if I've done one switch gear, you do a million switch gears. It's just a matter of landing your conductors. You're buying the equipment. You're laying it out. Okay. What's the hardest part that I think people have struggled with is if you're doing the groundwork and making sure that your raceways are where they need to be. Okay. And then the measurements off of a drawing, hopefully that's on the engineer. If the engineer designed it, you're following the engineer. So if the scale is right, you have your anchor points that you're measuring from are right, then it should be right. If it's not, it ain't your fault. And I have no problem passing the buck. If I'm like, dude, I put it where your drawing said it goes. Okay. With residential, you get to, you do your own thing, that type of thing. So at the end of the day, I tell people all the time, I'm like, I don't care whether you do low voltage. I don't care whether you do, and low voltage, by the way, covers all the way up to 2,000 volts. So don't let anybody tell you, well, let's start low voltage. There is no such thing as low voltage. Okay. We just call it low voltage. 10 volts, 15 volts, 30 volts, whatever it is. That's low voltage. 120 volts, low voltage. 240 volts, low voltage. 208 volts, low voltage. 277, low voltage. 480, low voltage. You're with me? Don't be confused. That's all low voltage. Just because you mess with it and you're thinking, well, it's more of a hazard, I'm dealing with high voltage. Still low voltage. Okay? 120 volts is the same low voltage as 480 volts. It's all low voltage. Now, in your mind, you want to think otherwise, that's fine. You want to think higher voltage, but I tell you, it only takes 1/10 of an amp to kill you. It doesn't care. The electrons don't care whether it's 480 or 120. If you get hooked up right, it ain't going to make a hill of beans. Okay. So again, it's all a mental thing. I always treat it, no matter what it is, with respect. That's just the way I've always been. I don't work on things live. I never did. I turn things off. I lock it out when I need to. I go with service calls. I make sure that if I have a switch to a light and I'm working on something, last thing I want is little Tommy to come running in the room and turn a light on. Because if it can happen, it can happen. So I will tape it off. And I put a piece of tape over it. And in the off position, I'm like, I'm working on it. Okay. Or I will turn off the breaker. Either way. It don't make me no bigger man to work on something live. You want to say otherwise? You do you. Boo. Okay. I don't know where I went down that. So anyway, we're going to talk about some low-cost marketing ideas. I'm going to give you some things that I think about when I mentor companies. As I mentor a lot of companies, I'm on their, they pay me an annual fee and I'm their mentor. It's not a lot, but they call me anytime they need a guidance or assistance, that type of thing, right? So, okay. Medium voltage does not start at 1,000 volts. It does not. Medium voltage starts at over 2,000 volts, right? 1,000 volts is still low voltage. Yep. All right. So anyway, how we treat it's different, but that's not the threshold of medium voltage. And medium voltage will go up to 2,500 or over 2,000. That'll go up to about 35,000 volts. Still medium voltage, right? And then above that, we'll get into things like high voltage, okay? That type of scenario. All right. Anywho. So what we're going to do is we'll look at some low-cost marketing ideas, but let's go and say hey to everybody, and then we'll get into some marketing stuff and talk about some things, and I'll give you some tips and tricks and hints, and maybe you're side hustling and you want a little tips and tricks. Maybe you have some thoughts that you have of some stuff that you've done, okay? That type of thing. So let's see here. Paul, what's up? And Paul's our resident printer. So again, if you want to use Paul for some of your printing, Paul can share his information, his website. Again, Paul, don't be offended because I like to use other low-cost type printing things through the years. I don't do much printing anymore, but I used to use Vistaprint for a lot of stuff and, very cheap. So you have to be competitive, Paul. I know it's one thing about sharing the love with people that are in the industry, but again, we're all frugal. So you got to be frugal. So if you're competitive, share it. Let's see here. What's up, Adam? Thank you, my friend. Glad to have you here. Marlon. Good morning. Glad to have you here. Welcome. What's up, Douglas? Glad to have you here, Douglas. Let's see. Frank's in the house. Glad to have you here, Frank. Welcome, as always, in the mornings. What do we got here? Erie, fast track student. Early today. Yeah, there you go. Welcome. Over on the tube as well. Watching over on the Fast Tracks tube. There you go. What do we got? Good morning here from Adrian. Good morning. Glad to have you here. What do we got? New places in the house. Good morning. Glad to have you here. Watching over on YouTube. Let's see here. I see Jason over there in his garage. I see you for the win. What is up, Angel? Glad to have you here. I'm doing good. Okay. Can't complain. Woke up, turned to the wife. She knew who I was. Good day. Good day. What's up, David? Glad to have you here. What is up, Cray Cray from Nashville in the house? What we got here? Red Dog.
Big Dog.
In the house. Red Dog. Thanks for joining me. Glad to have you here. Let's see here. Alex, welcome on his son's account because we got to get Alex to create his own account. What's up, Rob? Glad to have you here. I put my new flag up, Rob, my new American flag up. It's a 4x6 foot flag. Dude, it takes quite a bit of wind to even get that thing to move. Now, underneath my flag, I know y'all haven't seen, I have pictures of my flag. Underneath my American flag on my flagpole, I have another flag, a white one that has an AR-15 that says, come and take it, because I'm a big gun guy. Y'all know that. And so my property's got more cameras than whatever. It's like a fortress. Am I paranoid? Probably. But I do have a son that threatened to kill me at some point. So you got to be prepared, right? So I shoot first and ask questions, even in a very strict Virginia. It's funny that I ever explained Virginia law as it is to Texas law. You can't in Texas, if somebody breaks in your house, you just that's a threat. If you obviously you feel threatened, you shoot them, and work that way in Virginia. I don't know about your state. People say, "Oh, castle doctrine." They don't have that in Virginia. They have precedent law, which means if somebody breaks into your house and you shoot them, you're still going to get arrested. And you're going to go and you're going to have to explain to a judge why you felt threatened. You have to explain it. In Texas, you don't have to explain squat. I mean, people still sue you, but that's the difference. And it's crazy. In Virginia, and I hate Virginia for this, is that if somebody breaks in your house, if they're unarmed, and the jury looks like they didn't really pose a threat, like they're 120 pounds soaking wet and you're 240 pounds or something, and there's no gun involved, even though they broke into your house in the middle of the night, you still got to fight to say I felt threatened. My argument would be, dude, it's in the middle of the night. You're not supposed to be here. To me, you're going to be Swiss cheese. I'm just saying. It's better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, Virginia's got a messed up law when it comes out. And a lot of these states are like that. Anyway, I don't know how I got down that road. But anyway, needless to say, I am heavily fortified. Dragon Man is probably the only person that has more guns than I got. And if you don't know who Dragon Man is, then you need to go look at online at YouTube and type in Dragon Man, because he's a legend, and he's awesome. And I'm going there one day. It's in Colorado. All right, Melting Toast. What is up, Rob? Good morning. Andrew, Drew from Atlanta, Georgia, down in the Georgia. Always loved Atlanta. When I go down there, I always end up at the Buckhead. Is that what it is? Buckhead. All of our conventions always end up out there, and always love it down there. What's up, Charles? Arkansas. Been through Arkansas. I went through Arkansas, part of Arkansas, which it looks like there was nothing there. I still went through the part going to Texas. It literally was nothing. And I was in Texarkana. I don't know if that's Texas or Arkansas. I don't know which that is. But anyway, I almost got robbed. But it's crazy. Let's see here. You saw I inspire you? Well, awesome. Yeah, keep pushing. You must keep going. Must keep going. Pushing. Not because you have to, because you want to. That's the thing. What's up, Sparky? Good morning. Hashtag Wildworth. Just finished my second watch of dwelling unit load calcs. Oop, there you go. The more you watch, the more you get. So, welcome. Let's see here. What do we got here? Adam says we all take pride in what we do. Electricians, hell yeah, that's right. Now, they say the electricians are the only ones that don't sweep up after the job site. I see that meme all the time. It's like we're two prima donnas to clean up. I never got that because I cleaned up every job site. I had my helpers 30 minutes before the end of the day. One of my rules was they drop whatever they're doing and they start cleaning up the site and put it back the way it was before we went there. I didn't leave wire hanging everywhere. So I don't understand the memes out there. That type of thing. It just was my company policy, was that 30 minutes before we pack up, if you get off at 3:30, you're winding down whatever you're doing, unless your hands are in the middle of something. I get it. But once you finish that, you need to start cleaning. And if you aren't finished by 4, you're not leaving that job site until you clean that job site. And that means if that means I have to pay overtime or extra for that, it's fine. I just am not going to leave a crappy job site. Let's see here. Good morning, Van Man. Van Man, we try to reach you. We still need your address for the conductor length card that you won. So make sure you email that to us because we're still waiting on that. And if Val is on here, Val, if you're somewhere on here, well, no, you already should be hooked up. But you won the 2023 grounding and bonding. Val, not Van Man. Val. And Val, there you are, Val. Good morning. You know you won the grounding and bonding course. So remember, get in touch with us for that, because we've been looking to try to hook you up with that, unless we already have and I just don't have it marked. That type of thing. So anyway, What's up, Joseph? Light drizzle. It was nasty here too. Yeah, watch your step on those ladders, dude. Yeah, it only takes one slip. More people are injured from ladders than they are from being shocked and something like that. That's a crazy stat out there from OSHA. What's up, Val? There you go. I saw you in here. And let's see. Definitely nothing you weren't. Yeah, I can talk to you about medium voltage stuff. Did very little work with medium voltage. Very little. It's not my thing. I can show you how to terminate, cut cables, cut them in, things like that. But I did not do a lot with medium. I code consult for people when they're doing medium voltage layouts and how they would put it in cable trays. But as far as putting my hands on those, very little. Okay, very little. A lot of commercial, a lot of industrial, a lot of residential, a lot of service calls, a lot of troubleshooting in my career. But most of the time I was at below 2000 volt applications. And most of the time it was even below 1000 volt applications. Majority of the time. The vast majority of the time. Let's see here. Good morning, Edward. Thanks for joining us. Watching over on the tube. Fast Track's tube, I would assume. Not Fast Track system one, but probably over on Fast Track's tube, right? Let's see here. Not in Florida. Where are you at? Let's see here. Tony, what's up? Cheers. Never wants to issue. Never wants an issue. What? Any issues with me? Fortunately, stepdad still tells me what a piece. Oh, what a piece I am daily. Yeah, that's unfortunate. And like I said, I'll never have a relationship with my son because of things that he's said and done, and I can't let it go. I can be the Christian in me, still won't let it go. I'm not. He means absolutely zero to me, and people say, "Oh, that's sad." No, it's not really sad when he was arrested for spitting on cops, and I had to hire a lawyer to help him out, and he still spit on me, punched holes in the walls of our house when we tried to sell it. Threatened to kill me, and just a bunch of good stuff, right? Yeah, sometimes there's things like that you just don't forgive. I can't, did I have that hole in my heart about it? Yeah, but is it okay? Yeah, don't feel sorry for me. As far as I'm concerned, and he was adopted at birth. Me and my wife tried to have children. We couldn't, so she couldn't have. She's older. Most of y'all know my wife's 18 years older. So we adopted. It was a blessing. It's what we wanted. I wanted kids. Unfortunately, I got a little demon and had trouble with him our whole life. I spoiled him. I know. Gave him everything. That's probably the problem. At the end of the day, people say, well, it's bad parenting. Kiss my ass. You can do everything you can try to do for somebody. If they're just evil, they're evil. And so it is what it is. What's up, AJ? Good morning. So don't always believe everything you folks see on social media, even your Facebook. You ever go to school with people and you have friends and everything they post is like their life is so perfect? They're full of crap. Everybody's got crap in their closet somewhere. I mean, it's life, dude. So never believe your little social influencers, right? Who act like their life is so perfect. It's not. Trust me. I've been blessed. But at the end of the day, yeah, I got a demon child. Oh, let's see here. A great electrician is a clean. Absolutely. And I'll talk about that a little bit, about looking the part, dressing the part, walking the walk, talking the talk. It means a lot to our trade. What's up, Edgar? Good morning. Glad to have you here. Hopefully I don't miss anybody. What's up, Van Man? Glad to have you here. Oh, you got it. Okay, cool. Cool. I just want to make sure. I didn't have it marked down or anything marked, so I just want to make sure you're good. You're good to go. All right, let's get into talk about some stuff today, and we'll kind of go look at the Office Hog, and that's really one of the uses for something like the Office Hog. Well, good, Val. Thank you. Good grounding and bonding. You'll learn a lot in there. That type of thing. A lot of good stuff, good illustrations, that type of thing. Okay, especially grounding bonding can be tough because right when you think you're doing everything right, it ends up, you go too far and it ends up screwing the whole scenario up. And that's the weird thing about bonding and grounding. You can think you're doing everything right, and then you end up just screwing something up by one little mistake. that type of thing. And everything's good until something happens to somebody, right? And then they come after you, right? I tell people all the time, there's no statute of limitations on ignorance. Okay, it's always there. It's always there. So you try to remove it. I tell people also, I can't correct stupidness. I can only mitigate ignorance, right? So anyway, all right, let's go and look here. What's up, boy? No, what is morning? In my experience, is there any college degree in your opinion that could potentially open doors in this industry? Good questions, y'all. This is what today's about. We'll look at some, marketing suggestions, but ask questions. So, David, it depends on the doors you want to open. If you want to be somebody that designs systems and sits at a table and designs them, then you can be an electrical engineer. I have an engineering degree in electrical. I have a master's degree in it. I think they're worthless for me. And it was a waste of money, but I did mine at a time where it wouldn't be as cost prohibitive as it is for you folks today. Today, it costs you a fortune. When I did it 20 plus years ago, I got into right when there was a program. And again, I told you all many times, they took my being a VICA champion, being a master electrician, youngest in Virginia at 19. They took all that stuff and gave me credit for the classroom or what's called residency. I lucked out. You can't do that today. Nobody would do that for anybody today. That's why I don't even use mine on a resume. Not that I need a resume, but it's because I'm like, yeah, it was a total waste of my time. Now, I'm not talking against college. I'm just saying in my scenario, it wouldn't have helped my career any. Now, what can help your career? I think that if you get degrees in things like any type of mathematics, right? If you get into something that you can use to bolster what you do, then for me, being an engineer might help in credibility for some people when it comes to as a consultant or expert witness in court, but I don't even mention it there. I let my body of work speak for itself. If you're an electrical engineer, they don't learn the NEC, so you learn the NEC and you're an electrical engineer, then you could become a great consultant, and you could use it if that's what you want to do. If you're talking about being an electrician and working with the hands and doing electrical work, I don't see any degree. It's not going to hurt, but I don't see any degree that's going to help. I really don't. I think trade school, I'm big on trade schools. I'm big on learning how to do it with the hands and then learn the code because that's the mental part behind it. Put those together. You're not going to learn the NEC in school. If you get an engineering degree like I did, you're going to learn the fundamentals. You're going to learn all basic theories. You're going to learn all those type of things, thermodynamics. You're going to learn all this stuff that you learn, obviously the electives as well. But they didn't help. They didn't really prepare me for being an electrician. I did it because I thought I wanted to take a different career path back when I was really young, and my wife was working too, so I could do it. And I had an opportunity to do it without having to do a lot of extra hoops because they accepted my credentials that I already had. Again, I don't think they would accept that today. So it was much harder. So I don't know of any college degree, in my opinion, that will help you in the electrician trade, because all it's going to do is take 4 years or more out of your life, which you could have used to get jump started in this career. And in 4 years of working with the hands, under the guidance of really good electricians, masters, and journeymen that can teach you, that's the way to go. And also when it comes to opportunity, people forget that as an electrician, you have so many opportunities to own your own business, whether you just want to do service work, maybe you just want to do generators, maybe you want to do smart home applications, maybe you just want to do commercial, maybe you want to just do residential, that type of thing. Maybe you want to go into industrial, okay? That type of stuff, okay? Yeah, I learned all kinds of algebras, geometry, trigonometry. Absolutely none of it helps me for what I did in the electrical field. You may, well, no, you have to know. Bullshit, it doesn't. I mean, buildings are getting built every day. You think most of the electricians that are doing the work in these buildings know a damn thing about trigonometry? No, they don't. Do the buildings get built? Yeah, they get built. Now, if you want to design the buildings, now the software is pretty much design everything. You just plug stuff in And, it's not like CADing it back in the old days. It's totally different today. I'm not discouraging people from going to college. I went. You can go if you get the opportunity. But if you want to be an electrician, don't waste your money and be behind the 8 ball in 4 years. Get yourself, and if you're working for a company here's my advice to you. If you want to be a great electrician, you work for a company. If you've only been there for a couple months and the company's shit, in other words, nobody teaches you anything, you're not learning anything, you're just a cable jockey, or you're not learning anything, you're so early into that company, do yourself a favor. Leave. Find another company while it's still early, right? Because there's something worse about not being taught anything, but it's being taught wrong and being in the wrong environment. And I get it. You got to feed your family. I get it. But if you're early into the career and you can make these decisions, if you're working somewhere and you have these feelings that I'm just a number, I'm not learning anything, nobody wants to share anything with me, I'm eager to learn, everybody thinks they know it all, but they don't want to share it with me, leave. Go somewhere else. And when you go somewhere else, ask them before you get into a commitment, say, do you continually educate your people? Do you encourage questions? Do you encourage growth? Is there opportunity for advancement here? You got to ask questions too. Remember, I tell people all the time, in a job interview for even electrician, it's not just a one-way street. If you ever get somebody on a job interview and they tell you about the job and they go, do you have any questions for me? That's your opportunity. You say, yeah, I have a few questions. I'm not talking about money because that'll take care of itself. I'm saying, look, I want to know, do you offer opportunity for advancement? If I work very hard for you, which I intend to do, are you going to enrich me? Are you going to teach me? Am I going to learn? Because I want to learn. Those are the answers I want to hear as an employer. Okay. Now, if I'm going in there and somebody goes, nah, you know what? You're really just going to day in, day out, just monotony. We need to get these jobs going. Boom, 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 boom. I wouldn't work for there. That's just me. You do you, but I'm just telling you, if you want to enrich yourself and you're thinking about college, but you want to be an electrician, screw all that stuff. Don't get 4 years behind the 8 ball. Don't get in debt. Get out there and get that education from good electricians that are willing to share. And if somebody's not willing to share, move to somebody else. Okay? I'm just saying, it's no different than going to school and dropping a course. The only problem is you drop a course in college, you're already behind because you got to have a certain number of credits. So in the real world, you drop an employer who sucks. I'm just saying. Sorry about that. I went on a tangent, but maybe you get something out of these tangents. I don't know. What's up, JPB? Thank you. I'm giving you wisdom over 40 years of this stuff. What does it say here? Marlon said, that is true. The job needs you as much as you need it. Absolutely. And you know what? That old saying, you never go to work a day on a job that you enjoy. I have been doing this for so many years. I don't feel like I work. I really don't. I mean, obviously when I was a contractor, I worked, but I loved it. Okay. I mean, I didn't like crawling under crawl spaces or climbing through attics when it was 100 degrees outside. Okay. But I'd probably be much thinner today if I still did that. But I think if I went up in an attic today or under a crawl space, I would the only way you'd find me is by smelling me, because I don't think I'd get out. I think I'd get stuck. I'm just being real. Everybody on the internet, see, I told you Paul can't do it anymore. No, Paul can't do it anymore. Now, can I run wire cables? Can I do that with the best of them? Yeah. Yeah, I can still do it today because I've done it. My brother has a contracting business and I've gone and done it. I still can do it. Am I sore? Yep. Because I don't do it every day. But I still can. For 8 hours, you can get me working. Do I want to go up in crawl spaces or down in crawl spaces and up in attics anymore? Nope. My fat ass up in there. I'm just saying. Like I said, the only time you'll get me is you smell me because I can't get out. All right. Anyway, hopefully that helps you some. Okay, so what we're going to do real quick here is we're going to look, and I'm over at the Hog, and I'm at the Office Hog, by the way. This is part of the basic in the Plus or the Advanced program in Hog. It doesn't come with the light version, but this Office Hog is more tailored to asking questions about things. So let's get down here and ask a question. I got one here. So let's see here. I also add some details. So low cost and free marketing ideas for electrical contractors and electricians looking for side hustles. It will be used during a podcast. Okay, so I just ask it some questions. So let's see what advice that it gives. And I know it's kind of hard for you folks to see. So if I can blow it up, I will the best I can. All right, here's a list. Now, number one, create a website. Okay, establish an online presence with a professional website showcasing your services, contact information, testimonial use, things like WordPress, Wix, whatever. Yeah. So again, I'm not sure I'd put these in this order, but I most certainly think that everybody has to have a website, whether it's a one page, whether it's just a one page landing page. And the reason I say this is because you want to have the ability to send somebody somewhere quick. If you have business cards, you want to be able to give them to somebody and have the ability for them to get somewhere and read more about what you offer. So if you're looking at business, websites today, there's plenty of free ones. Don't be discouraged about the ones like Wix or whatnot that have a little banner at the top that says free plan. Doesn't matter. It's just a place for you to go and to send people about your business. If you don't know how to create a website, it is so easy now with this, basically what you see, what you get, that it is a no-brainer. All you need to do is take a good picture of you by your truck, put that as your main picture, put your company name underneath it, put your services, and put your phone number and your email address. That's it. Those can be created in 20 minutes, free. And most of these things like Wix has free templates that you can use, but you don't need 50 million pages, okay? That's up to you, but really, you just need one page to market. And if you market it, then that's where people will go to, and there is where you're able to expand on your services if you want. That way people know a little bit more about what you can do. But again, vital. Every company needs a website. Every side hustle. If you're doing side hustles and you need a website to be able to send somebody to, especially on a job site, you're doing something and somebody says, hey, do you do some work on the side, or you do something, you go, yeah, I do. Here's my card. Always keep them with you. Pass them out like water. And if you're also like us, you can do the NFC cards and tap their phones, same concept, but you want to be able to send them somewhere. So you want to send them to a website, whether it's a landing page or it's a full-blown website, doesn't matter. Next, local SEO optimization. Yes. So that's the one thing about creating your website. So create your website. In that website, when you're writing out the things that you do, be descriptive of what you do, because those things get picked up in the search engines, even locals. Okay. And so what it'll do is you'll put in there, I do service changes, upgrades, this, troubleshooting, whatever. You put what services you do all on just one page. That's it. One page. Okay. All right. And do that, right? And so that'll help you out. Now, when it comes to SEO, the reason I also tell you that you want to have at least one page, or at least one landing page, or at least something, is because one of the things that you want to do is make sure you grab all of your listings that are on things like Bing and Google and whatnot, right? So example here is you just go to business.google.com and you can get started, and you can get your free business profile right there, right? And that gets absorbed into the internet. Okay, it gets absorbed. Now it says create your free profile at no cost, right? Easy, personalized. You can put your hours, upload photos, posts, whatnot, and basically kind of like that. It'll show you the whatever picture you want. And so let's go back. Yeah, so and it'll have your hours and whatnot. But see this email, your website. You have to have somewhere to send them. Okay, this is not enough. So it's a twofold thing. Now this is free, right? To do this. Now another one. This is let's see, listings. All right, so Bing has the same type of thing. Okay, but there's another one. Okay, let me show you another one here. This one would be right here, Yelp. If you don't have a free listing on Yelp, you should. It's free. You just get started. So again, this one is business.yelp.com. And you can find all these in a search engine. This isn't brain surgery. Add your free listing. Hopefully you have that. But my advice to people that are doing these, and Bing has one as well. Bing has a free listing. Because more often than not, these are what are coming up first in your local area if you're searching for an electrician. Okay? So got to be there. Next, having a one-page website, easy, very clean. It's not hard. It is not hard. Don't get intimidated. It's not hard. They're basically templates. But by sharing your email, your web address over on, now the hardest part you're going to have is coming up with a domain. And domains are just, they're easy and they're easy to get. But that's the hardest part that people have. That type of thing is getting the domain. But even if you don't have a domain, when you go to like the Wix, they'll give you a domain, a long domain, right? And you just make sure you name it whatever your business is. So it'll be Wix dot whatever, and then whatever your business name. That's a long domain. And it's not personalized. It's a long one. And it's Wix's. But it doesn't matter. It's still a place for people to go. So you share that link in all of your website listings on Yelp, Bing, and Google. These are free. So if you're not taking advantage of those, then you're missing out, whether you're side hustling it or not. And here's the funny part about it is you could be doing a little side hustle, doing it legally, but also do your stuff in your Yelp, Google for business listings, which are free. And you might find out that you actually show up in the listing before the company that you may work for or these bigger companies, okay? So, it's not a big research, Marlon. Just go to Wix. The easiest one I can tell people to go to. I'll show you. I'll show you, folks. Let's just do this. Let me go. Let's just show you. I want to show you, folks, how easy this is. That's the first thing that people do is they think it's difficult. And it is not today. Don't be intimidated by any of it. So I'm going to go to Wix and show you what we've got going. I want to show you this. Okay, so let's go real quick. I'm going to show you how easy this is. This is Wix. Create a website without limits. Get started, okay? The templates are already there. You click Get Started. You create an account, okay? And just once you create an account, it's basically template driven. You just drop and drag, okay? That type of thing. Now, if you have Hostinger, then you need something like WordPress. And yes, it is a little more difficult if you want to create your own stuff. I use WordPress to do all of my stuff. It is not without its challenges. But again, they usually have simple templates as well. And you don't have to have 50 million pages. You only have to use one homepage template or even a landing page and be done. That type of thing, right? So again, and again, it's all part of business. So even if you have to pay somebody to create a basic website for you, we did that for years. We created websites for companies, and I don't know if y'all remember that we had the old stuff that we used to do, and we had the web hosting, our own web hosting. And it was designed behind that was to make it simple, click, 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 and people could get websites very quickly. Y'all remember we had that, okay? Butler. It was, we used to do those type of things. It was the Butler suite. And we stopped that because I stopped things that if they don't do an expectation that I want them to do, then I drop them. I don't spend my time, I don't waste my time on them. So we dropped it. But that was the whole concept, is to create and make it easy for people, because I wanted electricians and other contractors to be able to get websites easy and quickly. So without having to learn WordPress and all this stuff. So that's what we came up with, that software. But again, we didn't have, I think we had less than 100 members. And you might think that's a lot. It's not a lot in when you're scaling. So we killed the program, that type of thing. We developed the software for it, but we ended up killing it. But the key thing is, from an electrical contracting standpoint, there are a lot of templates that you can buy that are already pre-made, right? Let me give you an example. Hold on. Let me give you an example. Let's see here. It's easier to go. Let me go here. So let me show you. Let me give you an example here. So let me see. Let's go. want to show you how easy this is. Let's go to Google real quick. I just want to show you. Good Lord. Hold on. I don't know why I got all this. Hold on. I'm gonna kill this real quick, guys. Hold on. I'm gonna go here to Google. Let's just share this real quick. Okay, I'm gonna go to Google real quick, and I'm gonna go electrician WordPress. Damn it, I can't type, but the mic's in the way. Press. God, I can't. I gotta move the mic, guys. It's too much crap on my desk. WordPress template. Okay. All right. So I do a lot with Envato. Okay. So I do a lot with them. Okay. So by the way, I have a lot of my sites. I work with the Envato folks. So I'm just going to click on that. And I did get a message this morning that their site was down. So let's do a different one. They are doing maintenance in the background. So let's see. Okay, let's see if Dreamforce, it should be the same as Envato. No, there we go. All right, so this is another place I use, ThemeForest. All right, so there is a lot. Here's an electrician pre-made template. Now watch. I'll give you a live view. Look at that. Oh, hold on. Let me share this one. Hold on. I'm going to reload that because I wanted you to see what it looked like when it started. Somebody comes to your website, it does that. Now look at that. You can customize all of this with just a couple clicks. You can even use their pictures if you want, but it's already pre-made. Request service today. You just change this information to tailor for your needs. But hell, a lot of this you may say, look, I'm going to leave it. I don't care. But anyway, these are templates. They're already pre-made, right? Look at that. I mean, it doesn't get any neater than that. All you do is you can change any of these things on there, and it's basically just really simple. People can reach out for estimates or call us. You can list projects that you've done. And this, you buy this already pre-made, right? And you might say, well, how much is this? This is a lot of work. How much do people charge for something like this, right? And I'm going to tell you, you'd be surprised that it is, check this out. It's $39. And you can change the logos. You can change it to be yourself. Again, it's as easy. Now, installing it, you got to do a little something to install it. You got to, it's not going to be just buy the template and it works. But the point is, it's not hard anymore. You can get, and there's dozens of templates that you can use, from simple to complex, depending on your company. Like I said, I might get away with just one page if all I'm trying to do is direct people somewhere. So don't make it hard. It's not. It does not have to be hard. Okay. All right. What's next? So optimization, that is a key. Get that optimization going. You gotta have optimization down. All right. All right. Next, social media. Y'all know how I feel about social media. But at the end of the day, you need to make sure, if you're a business, that you capture a business account for all of your social media. What you do with it's up to you, but I encourage you locally to get social media, not so that you can interact with people like we do. So, because you're working local, you don't care about somebody in Idaho if you're over in Virginia, right? The thing is that you can share your social media with your local market. And they can see projects you've done. They can build that confidence in you. You can tell them, hey, I'm going to, you get a job for somebody. You can say, hey, I'm going to share your project. If you're okay with it, I won't disclose your name, but I want to share some of your project with our customers. Would you like that? Most people say, yeah, hell yeah. And again, they get invested in you, and they'll want to end up recommending you. Okay. That type of thing. What's up, Thomas? Thanks for joining. What's up, Pedro? So that's one of the things that you want to get into, is make sure that you do social media and get your account based on your business, not personal. Okay. It's like I say, for marketing advertisement purposes, I always tell people, make sure you get something that people know what you are when you read it. Like Master the NEC, for electricians, they know we're talking about the National Electrical Code. Anybody else, they ain't got a clue, but I don't care about anybody else. Okay. I only care about electricians. If you have an electrical contracting business, make sure the social media account you get reflects it. Okay. Don't get hot to trot Jimmy if you're electrical contractor, ain't nobody know what the hell that means. Make sure you get as close to something that's going to relate to your business and use those social media accounts for business purposes only. Okay. That type of thing. Also, if you're not doing it already, you should be offering all your customers a referral incentive. Okay. Letting them know that if they refer your services to somebody else, that they will get a discount on future needs, and you know they're going to need it. So that's where the NFC card comes in, because you can create a free link tree, and when you share this with somebody, then they can always go back on their phone to it, and they have the link tree, and that they can, pick the different services, plumber, mechanical, whatever, and you can track it that way through the link tree. But the beautiful thing about that is if they need you again, they can go right to that app and push you, and that way you're that first thing on their mind. Okay, you're right there on their phone. Business cards, great. Get a QR code on there so they can scan it and go somewhere because you have limited space. NFCs are really the way to go if you can embrace it. But QRs are fine. Everybody knows how to use a QR code, quick response code. But have it so they go somewhere. Okay, website, link tree, something, that type of thing. But definitely get referral incentive. Let them know they'll get a discount if they refer you, that type of thing. And give them their own unique code. Like I used to have business cards back before we started doing NFCs and stuff, that I had a little box at the bottom right, little white box. And that's why I would write a code in there. And I would say, give that code to the referral. And if they give you if they tell me that code, then I will log you and you will get a discount. And they will get a discount. I would tend to do 10% for any future work they did, and the customer can get 5% by using that code that you referred them to. That 5% is better than is 5%. Okay. So anyway, you really don't lose anything. You get that referral, you get business that you might not have gotten before. I mean, again, work that referral thing, make your technicians work that referral thing, that type of scenario. Create how-to videos. Yeah, I'm a big believer on a little website or anything you have, do little videos that can help the end user, okay? Check receptacles if they're too loose, okay? That type of thing. Does your receptacle pull out because of the tension? Then you need to call us, that type of thing. Or switch not working, that type of thing. So they're marketing, yet they are solving a need for the customer. Again, how you do them. But again, people like to watch these little things, that type of thing. Don't try to teach them any complex task. Just kind of very simple, how to change an air filter, how to change a lamp, a light bulb. I know that sounds stupid, but again, some of your customers, again, it's the wives that don't really mess with that stuff. Well, they're going to say, dude, my husband hadn't got this crap fixed, nothing fixed. I'm going to do it myself. Watch video, and then they may say, you know what? I got other things I want to have done. I ain't waiting for the honey-do list. I'm going to call you. That type of thing. So if you do landscape lighting, show a little snippet installation on some portion of it. Here's my tip, though, on how-tos. Believe it or not, don't show everything. Don't give them all of the pie. Just give them a piece of the pie. So give them enough video, show them something till they get into the end of the video, short videos, 1-2 minutes max, and then at the end and say, but you know what? I can solve this for you. And just give us a call at this number on the screen. So it's an advertising, yet there is a portion of how-to into it. So you've got to figure out how to meld the two, but that's very positive to do that. Another low-cost thing is I don't know why people aren't doing this more, is because I used to do it, and then we'll talk about the marketplace in a minute, but real estate agents, home inspectors, as much as I loathe most of them, you should form a relationship and give out business cards, whether you get them at Vistaprint or Paul give you a good deal or whoever. You should be getting business cards, and you should be giving them out like water flows. Okay, give them out to anybody you see. Now, the bad side about a business card is they get to get tossed. That's what's neat about if you get an opportunity to get in somebody's phone, and if you know how to sell yourself right, you can get into somebody's phone. And it's all a matter of nonchalantness. I found out that on a job site one time. We were talking about NFC to a guy, and when somebody said, "Can I put the NFC in your card?" People were like, "No, nah, I don't want to." I never asked like that. I'd have a conversation. I'd talk about what we do, and I'd start amping up how excited about what we do. I'm like, yeah. I say, tell me, what? Turn your phone. Give me your phone. Just get your phone. And I'd go, watch this. Check this out. I knew what I was doing, putting it in their phone. Okay. If their NFC didn't work, I'd say, whoa, do you know about NFC? When you pay at the payoff, you pay at the grocery store or something. I go, yeah. Well, that's got to be on. Let's turn that on real quick. I'm going to show you something cool. Your real goal is to get your name in their phone. That's it. That's it. And so it's all about the enthusiasm that you bring to it, that type of thing. I've also taught my salespeople in the past, bring enthusiasm to a service call, because if you're out there and you really, and it shows that you don't want to be there, it's going to show to your customer, and they're going to be like, this dude doesn't care whether he be here or not. You can say, no, it doesn't matter, Paul. I'm there to get the job done. I'm telling you, you're full of shit. I've been doing this 40 damn years. I've had a lot of interaction with customers, whether I was in AA Electric or was electrical service specialist or Abernathy's Electrical Services. I've owned multiple electrical contracting businesses. I've had people work for me. I went from a decent staff to a middle size to just a mom and pop-ish style. And I can tell you, you catch more bees with honey than you do with vinegar. I'm just saying. All right, let's see here. Online marketplaces. Yes, I'm a believer that you should put online where it's free. I don't believe you should pay for Home Advisor. I don't believe you should pay for Angie's List. I don't believe you should pay for Thumbtack. I do believe that if you use a Home Depot, that you should get in on their system they have where they give referrals based on points. So just ask them about their contractor program. And that was great for me early on because they've had it for a long time. We got quite a bit of work from the referrals at Home Depot. I may be just luminaires and ceiling fans and other things like that. But I mean, today people are getting $300 and $400 to put in a simple ceiling fan. I'm just saying, not back when it was $79 to put the ceiling fan in or whatever your hourly rate is. Now they're getting, because in many states, if you charge a flat price, you don't pay sales tax. Not every state. I'm just saying. In Texas, for example, if you gave them a lump price on residential, then you didn't have to pay sales tax on anything. You just gave them a lump price. So flat rate pricing was the way to go. I'd tell you ceiling fans. We'll put up a ceiling fan. There's two different criteria. One, if the box can support the fan, it's $249 for an hour. If the box doesn't, and I have to install a box, then it adds an additional cost. And so you break your structure like that. That way you protect it. You say, look, if I get in, here's what the price is going to be. And if that box isn't designed to support this ceiling fan, this is what the price is going to be. Okay. And it's going to take me longer and the price could be different. Like, well, that type of thing. But you firm it up and you only charge one price. You don't charge per hour. Okay. Now the hourly may be baked into it. That's the kind of a way around it. I'm not telling you what to do. But you come out there and you give a price to do the ceiling fan. I'm just giving you an example. And then you say, well, the price could change based on the complexity of the job. Okay. But at the end of the day, you're still not giving them a per hour rate. You're giving them a flat rate at the end. Okay. I think people also forget today that an estimate is an estimate. And I get it. We hate that as consumers. We like, no, give me a price. But sadly, an estimate is an estimate. If I'm going to go to your house and you troubleshoot something and it takes me 2 hours or an hour, whatever it takes because it's complex, and you said, well, you said it was going to be whatever. I'm like, it's an estimate. Okay. It's taking me longer, but I'm not doing it for free. No. But I'm not a big believer in these marketplaces. Now, other the marketplaces like Facebook marketplaces and things like that, if they allow you to market your services without being a strike or against you, or they don't allow you to do that, then don't do it. But if you have those other marketplaces, do a little research. They'll let you market yourself. Like Nextdoor. Nextdoor for a local community, it's great because they'll let you market it and they'll let you put your business up there. Now, can you buy advertising? Sure. I wouldn't buy squat from those people. None of those people. Okay. Use everything that you can do for free. Next, attend local events. I'm a big believer that if you can, identify what is a big deal in your community. So in a community that I was in back in Harrisonburg, Virginia, back when I was a contractor, they were big on Little League. Big on Little League. And so I got a banner that was on the wall. Okay. And it was like 8 foot by 8 foot. I had it, there was a printer, make me up a banner. And I paid for that marketing, and it was there every game. And part of that was that the announcer would announce the businesses that are sponsors. And he would say, look at center field on that wall. It would look and say electrical service specialists, specializing in whatever, that type of thing. And if they don't offer that, but they do offer banners for local events, go to the people and say, you know what? Can we work out a deal where we give you a little more? If you mention us or you point people to the banner or whatever, you would be surprised because nobody's ever asked them. I'm just saying. Also, when you say local events, I also encourage you to do the home shows. I know they take a lot of time, but I do. If you're in a place that gets a good amount of traffic, if you're in business, try it out. Again, don't try to be overly pushy. You might not make any ROI on that, but the word of mouth. But here's the key. Have a place for them to go. As they come by, ask people, hey, let's put our contact information in your phone. And you know what? You'll get 20% off on your next call. You don't have to do anything. And you never know when you need an electrician. So tell you what, I'm going to put this, let me tap this in your phone and it's cool. Let me show you that type of thing. And, make it fun. And you'd be surprised how many people will if they come into your booth. Also, my big thing also, believe it or not, when you do these booths or you do these trade shows, you don't have to have an elaborate trade show. But I would create a 2x4, just one span, one space, and put a panel in it. And I'd have NM coming in the top or whatever. And I would try to put 10 violations in there that are very common to a home. And then I would set that up. And as I'm talking, as people come by, I'm like, hey, tell you what, you get a free stress ball or you get a free, there's cheap giveaways, promotional things that you can give away. But I'd say you get one. I don't just give crap away at these shows. I'm like, you get one if you try to find at least 3 violations that may be in your own home now, right? And so that type of thing. So that was what happens with that, right? So I would have people come into the booth and interaction. Interaction's great. Get them interacting, that type of thing. And God's sakes, don't be at these trade shows or at these little local garden shows. Don't be a stick. Don't just stand there. If you're not the outgoing type, because some people aren't, get somebody that is. Get a wife. Get your child. Get a brother. Get a friend. If you know somebody that's outgoing, that engages with people that are not shy, get them in your damn booth. Offer them a free dinner. Say, hey, brother, I'll take you out to dinner. I am that kind of guy that if I'm in your booth, I'm going to bring people in your booth. I'm going to be lively because I don't care. And people say, you got to have that mentality that you're inside of the mascot suit. You know what that old saying? Like nobody's going to act engaging when they're just out there if they're shy. But the moment you put them in a suit, right? Put them in some kind of costume, they act differently. Why? Because they hide behind that persona of whatever that is, and they get engaging. That's why you see people use those type of things, gimmicks at these different things, because they generate activity, that type of thing. But I love the idea of a panel with 10 violations in it, and you tell them you'll give them something, a shirt, a t-shirt. Everybody wants something, but don't give it to them unless they participate, right? And then always have a consolation prize, something cheap, like maybe a fan with your business stuff on it. Always have them leave with something with your info. That's the key. If you're going to give something away, it does no good to give away something that doesn't benefit you. I tell people all the time at these trade shows, you give away something that just has your name on it. Are you an idiot? Pay more to get what you do on it. If it says your name underneath it, it's got to say what you do. If you have a website, it's got to have the website on it. You get what I'm saying? If it's printable, Put a QR code that goes to a website. You are missing opportunities, people. People are missing it. They don't think. Sometimes we don't think because we just don't think. Business cards. Never get only one side of a business card done. Never. Both sides. At Vistaprint, you get both sides. Pay a little extra to get both sides. Paul, if you do with Paul, pay both to get both sides. Get both sides done because it gives you the opportunity to give out as much information as you can. Okay. On the back side, you could explain your referral program and great discounts, things like that. Keep the services to what you know people will need, like replacing damaged receptacles, luminaires, freshen up your house with new devices, Decora. Do you have that loose receptacle you always wanted fixed? Well, cater to those low-hanging fruit stuff because you'll be surprised at where that low-hanging fruit is. If you look up, there's a vast tree that you can pull from. And I used to tell people all the time, if I get in your door, I'm not selling you snake oil, but it's up to me and a good salesperson to cultivate additional sales. And I'm not talking about being pushy salesman. I'm just saying there's usually going to be, if you build a good relationship and you will have them. Every person that I did something simple for, fixed a receptacle, fixed a switch, light wasn't working, something, they always had me back to do other things. That is a reoccurring customer with a very low return on investment. Okay. The ROI on that is very low. So again, first impressions. Now, can you overcome a bad first impression? Absolutely, you can. The problem is you have to work that entire appointment to try to overcome the bad first impression. So people say you can never get past the first impression. That's bullshit. You can. You just got to work twice as hard. You got to be as ass kissy as you can to get past it. You say, well, I don't do that. I'm here for a service. Okay, well, you know what? If that's making you a living, that's fine. I'm not like that. It's never how I taught people. I do not carry my emotions to the service call. I could have had everything that happened with me and my son through the years, even as a contractor. I never carried those emotions to my customers. They don't care about what's going on in your life. Don't share what's going on in your life. Like I said, I shared with y'all. Y'all don't care what's going on in my life. I use it as a principle, a point of why we do certain things, as I'm teaching. But when I'm talking about customers out in the field that are paying me to do something, nah, they don't care. They don't care about my personal feelings. They don't care about what I'm going through. I'm sorry, Paul. Because the moment you leave, they're like, did he fix my stuff? So again, let's be real. People don't care. They just want you to get it done. So train your staff to get in, get it done, but leave their baggage behind. Okay, leave the baggage behind. All right, so local events. Now, real estate agents, you should be forming a relationship. If you're an electrician, you should do a business card, do a one-page flyer, very simple with your card stapled to it. Take some time out of your day to go buy all these real estates. Now, the flyer, think about how you construct that because the real estate market is selling a lot of homes and everybody wants to sell their home quicker. Most of real estate agents are going to get the calls from the home inspector. They're going to need to find a contractor. They may be somebody they use, but they may not be available. You want to be the best second option if you're not their first option, okay? And that's how I always approach it. One of the things I used to say to people when I go to a job site or I go somewhere and I knew they had a contractor, I would say, look, hey, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Hey, I'm not trying to replace who you have. I mean, I love an opportunity to do some work for you, but I'm not trying to replace anybody. Dude, I'm not taking any money out of anybody's pocket. I just want to be an alternative for you. You get busy, you need to get something. I know time happens. I want to give you my card. I want to give you my information. You know what? I stand behind all my work. And it's great if you have referrals because then you could say, hey, let me scan your card or let me scan your phone with my NFC or here's a business card with the QR code. Go to our website. We have testimonials. Look, I just want to be that go-to person when your actual go-to person can't get you taken care of. You will be surprised at how people embrace that rather than being pushy down their throat to be their number one guy. I'm always happy to be number two. Yeah. I mean, I don't always have to be number one. I can be number two, okay? And most people say all my life I've been number two. Ha ha, pun intended. I don't have my thing. Hold on. But I don't, in business, dude, I'm always waiting in the wings to prance when necessary. And then what happens is when you get the opportunity and you do get that call and you played that card as being, hey, I'm there if you need me. Don't come up with excuses, folks. That's another thing. Don't go, oh, I'm busy. No, sir. If you're going to play that card to somebody and it's a big contractor or it's a good, it's somebody you're trying to get in the door with, and you say, look, I'm not here to replace your number one. I'm just here to be an alternative for you. When they do call you, drop whatever you're doing to service them. I'm just saying, don't be a talker, be a doer. Okay? But form a relationship with real estate agents. Let them know that you're here. If they have home inspectors refer something because they want to sell the property. And you say, hey, also, freshen up homes. I did a lot of business, and I had a guy who was a contractor that changed his whole business model. He consulted with me, and I said, well, let's try this because he wanted to add different services to his business. And he added what's called a freshen up service. And he went to a lot of real estate agents, and guess what? He would go in his aged homes. He would go in and change the luminaires, change the ceiling fans. He would change the switches to Decora. He would change the receptacles, new cover plates. He would even do things like smart home. And we'd say old school smart home, where instead of trying to do a wired system, he would put Ring devices and all these kind of things, the Alexa devices, smarten it up. And then it helped the sale. It freshened it up because you know what? Paint does the good thing. New flooring does a good thing. But when I walk in and I see these nice receptacles and my real estate agent says, yeah, look, it's smart. It connects with your Alexa and you can actually turn the lights on here or do this or do that. Dude, those are selling points. And believe it or not, you can walk into something like, he was telling me that his average job from an agent, real estate agent, for about 5 or 6 hours of work, switching everything out, his average, what he made was $2,500 to $3,500 per project. That's not plus the product. That was in addition to the product. Okay, because he put it together as a package. And because most of this is all residential, there was, and depends on where you're at, what state you are, he didn't pay, this was in Texas, by the way, he didn't pay any sales tax on that, except for when he bought the original product, which he paid sales tax for it anyway, unless you were tax exempt. So that's his model. And he saw that he had so many agents calling him, just like the agents call those people to do pictures and do their portfolio and do the drone flyovers. He found a little niche in that after we talked about it. And I used to do that. Okay. It's a little legwork, but what do you got to lose? That's a great side hustle, by the way. For those that are in doing business for somebody else, come up with a good business card, come up with a good flyer that you can staple the business card to, go to these real estate agents, okay, that type of thing. You can even email them if you can get their email. It's, I like to put the face to face, but anyway, it can work, and you don't need a whole bunch of them to make it profitable for you. Just little ideas. You do what you want, but I'm just giving you ideas. The next one is free consulting. You can offer some consulting as an electrician to other people, and sometimes that will result in them referring you to do the work. Like you can say home inspectors, or you can go to the real estate agents and say, look, somebody might have something that the home inspector reports on, and you need somebody, maybe you're the seller's agent or the buyer's agent, whatever, and you need to see what is the real severity. Like for example, a home inspector may call out the fact that it has white wires going to a breaker, and that it has to be re-identified if it's in a cable, right? But they flame this on a report, so it looks like a deal killer, and you're like, oh crap. You could be the consultant where they can call you, an electrician, and go, yeah, no, don't worry, that's a big deal. Tell you what, I can take care of that. So you can turn the free consulting into like, do you want me to take care of this for you? That's another big thing I tell people all the time is when it comes to sales, I'm not a great salesman, but I know one thing very important about sales. I always ask for the sale, because you're never going to get the sale if you don't ask for the sale. Okay? It's like asking your wife, what do you want to eat? I don't know. What do you want? No, but I ask you what I want to eat. I don't know. Whatever you want. I ask you what you want to eat. I don't care. Whatever you want to eat. flip the coin. Ultimate decision coin. Boom, make the decision because nobody wants to make a freaking decision, right? And if you decide and you go, okay, we're going out to Benihana's. Well, I don't want to eat there. Tell you what, because you wanted Benihana, you go, tell you what, let's flip the coin. Yes, Benihana. No, we'll keep this thing going, baby. That way, at least you have a 50-50 chance of getting where you wanted to go, right? Flip it, go. Another technique for that, though, is you can tell somebody, you can tell your wife this, go, hey, baby, guess what? I'm taking you to eat tonight at your favorite place to eat. You know where that is, don't you? And she goes, Western Sizzling? You go, you got it. God, man, you're good, baby. Husbands, you know you got to do it. I'm just saying, okay? Happy wife, happy life. That type of thing. All right. Obviously, you want to collect reviews from your customers. Now, I'm going to kind of run down some quick things real quickly that I think this is going to be some quick stuff that you need to think about, okay? Again, get your profiles on Yelp, Google, and Bing. Get your free ones. Make sure you get the Nextdoor app in your neighborhood, or you can actually join other neighborhoods in your area. Yes, you can. So, for example, when I was in Texas, I was also Louisa, Virginia. I had multiple neighborhoods. You can get multiple accounts, okay, that you can advertise in, that type of scenario. Yard signs. Anytime I'm doing a project, yard signs, I'm sure Paul sells a lot of these. Anytime I was doing a project, I put a yard sign in their yard. Cheap, like those ones for voters. Real cheap, just cheap yard signs. I would have them made bulk, just cheap, and have the name of my company on them, electrical services, no job too small, no job too big, yada, 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 phone number, and website. And I would put it in the yard. And I'd ask the customer, say, do you mind if I put this sign out in front? You know, I'll come back and get it in a couple of days. Or if it's a low cost, you go, you know, you can leave it up. It helps me. And I'll give you 5% off your bill by letting me do that. You can throw it away after a couple of days if you want, but it really does help me. I'm growing my business. Never be too ashamed to tell somebody you're growing your business. Okay? Now, there's a quick 1-2 punch. People that are CMECPs, they learn that marketing is so important to make sure that they make people know that they are elite, that, you know, they're not like any other master electrician. Okay. So when I use that as a double banger, I would say, when I used it, I would say, you know what? I'm a certified master electrical co-professional. And we take extra training to understand the National Electrical Code. So you're only going to pay me to do it right one time. You're going to see that my competitors don't have my CMECP credits. It's all verifiable. But can I put a sign out in the yard? Because you know what? I really need to grow my business. I want other people aware of my services, and I would love for you to help me out. I'll give you a 5% discount off your bill if you leave it up for a week, if you want to take it down, but you're helping me out. Do you mind? Don't be afraid to ask for it. So what I did there was I showed my eliteness, yet I also showed my humility and that I need their help. Dude, I ain't no shame in my game when I'm a contractor. It's dog eat dog. I'm just saying. Some people say, I don't do it that way. Well, I'm just telling you, I'm giving you my advice, okay? Branding, shirts and hats. I am a big believer that you do not send a service tech, you do not send anybody to a site unless they have a shirt or a hat that has the company name on it. I don't. And it's not just the company name. It has to say what you do, okay? And preferably, I like the guy's name on it so that the customer, and I usually put that on the other side. Like I had a guy, his name was Bob. Ironically, it was Bobby, but he liked Bob. It said Bob. So it had my company name, what we do, and over here it said Bob. And we approached it. He would go, hey, how you doing? I'm here for the service call. My name is obviously Bob, and I'm with this company. You know, as you know, you called us, and we're coming here to, you know. So it was that relationship, that icebreaker that he would do. I mean, it's, again, you could say corny, whatever, but I'm trying to get paid. You know what I'm saying? You know, people can say, I don't do that. Well, so you do you. It's your business. You do whatever you want. I'm telling you what I did. Okay, Paul, you're an ass kiss. Yeah, okay, whatever. I got the business. Let's see. Next, obviously, it's cheap to get shirts and stuff embroidered and made up and things like that. Not a big thing. Business cards with QR codes we talked about. Facebook groups, make sure you join them if you're a contractor. Chamber of Commerce, I don't necessarily think you have to join, but you need to see if they have a free inquisitive member night, means that you can come to see if it's what you want to do, and then you kind of can mingle with some folks, but make sure at that point you do have your shirt with your name and what you do, so nobody has to guess. You might think you have a clever business name, but if it doesn't really say what you do, then it ain't worth a crap when it comes to promotion. You need to make sure underneath it says electrical services or something, okay? Make it clear. Bulletin boards. Don't be ashamed if you have a bulletin board somewhere at a hardware store, at Lowe's, Home Depot's, Aces. Ask them, do you have a bulletin board? Don't be afraid to put some cards up there. They're still out there. Some still refer that way. Also, there was no shame in my game when I'd go to Home Depot or Lowe's and I was out there for something, because I got a lot of supplies at Home Depot or Lowe's because I had a credit thing. I could get points and credit. And then with the Home Depot, you could get referrals so that they would send you people, and the more you bought, the more referrals you would get. So I was like, dude, I was never the loyalist. With the supply house, like, I'm going to pay 20% more just because I want to be loyal to the supply house. Screw that. It's the responsibility of the supply house to be competitive. That's their problem. That's not my problem. People say, that's a bad way to be, Paul. I don't give a damn. I'm in business to make money. That's what what are you in there for? I'm in there because I just love doing it. Well, you do you, boo. I'm in there to make money. Okay. I'm not here to gouge people, but I'm in business to make money. So if I can get a 200 amp disconnect at Lowe's or Home Depot, I'm just throwing numbers, folks, $165. But if I get the same disconnect at my supply house, it cost me $225. Do you think I'm going to pay $225 just because I'm loyal? You may do it. I'm not doing it. I'm going to buy it at Home Depot. And I'm going to get points for it. Local supply house ain't going to give me any points. I'm just saying. I'm being real with you guys. I don't have that kind of loyalty to that. All right. So also build you at least a one-page website, quick, Google sites, Wix sites, whatever you need. One quick page. Make sure you get Instagrams, Facebooks, TikToks, and all that. Get your business name and only use it for business. You want to do personal stuff on there? Fine. But if you get one, like for mine, people say, well, you're master at NEC. Why do you talk about all kinds of other stuff? That's because that is my everything account. I'm not searching for business on there. I share my business, but it's also my personal one. I'm making advice to you because I deal nationwide. You're focusing on local market. Local market, develop a Instagram, Facebook, whatever. And for business, you want to create good positive vibes in your community. For me, nationally, if I piss somebody off on my social media, I don't really give a shit. If you want to learn the code from me, that's great. If you don't want to learn the code from me, that's fine too. Go somewhere else. Go to Mike Holt. Go to Ryan. Ryan Jackson does a great job. Go to somebody else. Go to that guy that's selling that cheesy ass course on TikTok for $50. Go to that dude if you want. I don't care. Go to the people that have been doing it for less than 2 or 3 years and think they got everything on YouTube. That's fine. Go to them if you want. I don't care where you go. I'm still going to be here. I've been blessed, so I don't have to worry. I love when you come to me. I hope you learn something when you come to me. But at the end of the day, if I piss somebody off because of something I say, you think I care? I really don't care. I don't pander that way. Different locally. Different when I'm working my business. You say, there's no difference, Paul. There's a difference. And I'm more than happy to consult with you and explain why there's a difference. That's why they call it local SEO, okay? Because there's a different mentality for your local business than it is online. And you got to be at some point in the game where you're hungry, that type of thing. I'm not as hungry as I used to be. Okay, so offer some freebies on the site. For example, if they answer 5 types of questions, that you'll send them a magnet for their refrigerator, which still has your info on it anyway. Okay? Magnets, by the way, do work well for people if you give them out properly. Always put a QR code on that magnet or an NFC dot on that magnet. They do sell the dots that you can program. There's many different ways to do that. make sure that you definitely get your Google page and do all that kind of stuff. All right. Let's see here. If you can do a newsletter to all of the people that your customers that keeps them engaged, then I encourage newsletters. If you're in like HVAC business, it's great to remind them about cleaning the filters every year, or we'll do it for you. A newsletter can also say, do you for electrical, you could say, hey, do you have those honeydews? Do you have a receptacle broken? You're thinking of a hot tub, you know, this, you want to add some lights. Do you want to change out? Newsletters can be great. They opt in or opt out of them. That's fine. It really doesn't matter. Okay, that type of thing. So those are just some thoughts. You don't have to spend a heck of a lot of money. Again, I encourage flyers. That's the other big thing that I used to tell people. Vistaprint, for example, you can get door hangers. One of the big things that I used to tell people is if you're new and you want a side hustle or you're growing your business, think about starting with the service business first. There's good money in service work. Think about flat rate pricing with a variable on there for complicated jobs. So you have a flat rate price, but then you have there's a level 1, level 2, or level 3. For example, I use a ceiling fan example where you had to put in a ceiling fan box, and you got to climb through an attic and all that kind of stuff. Different levels. So they need to know that up front. Okay. And then at the end, you're giving one flat price at the end. You're not breaking it down by the number of hours. Okay. It's all about complexity. It's harder for them to argue over that when the complexity is there, right? When they say, well, God, you took 3 hours. You're charging me for 3 hours. I mean, how do I know you're not milking it? I'm telling you that I'm charging you the job based on complexity. If it's a simple ceiling fan you want to add, you supply the ceiling fan, then it's $279. I'm just throwing numbers, folks. And that includes my trip charge, the time it takes to do it, just one fee. They see. But there is a caveat to that. You need to know about it, that if it requires this, or I have to go in the attic and add some different levels. Now, there comes a time where can you possibly get a really complex one that screws you on the margins? You could. You have to be used to what you're dealing with. You just have to be familiar with it, that type of thing. All right. Okay. Anyway, I can also give you tips on how to do the charging and how to get, say that there's an actual fee, because everybody does free estimates. There's a way to do it and say, it's free estimates with an asterisk. Means that I give you a free estimate, but once I'm there, if you want the job done, okay, that type of thing, and you'll credit it back. But if I give you this estimate and you don't let us do the work, then you're going to have to owe a minimum fee. That's my trip fee. Some people charge a trip fee already, but there's a way that you can bake it in so that you're going to get it by saying, look, I'm going to give you a free estimate with an asterisk. However, if we don't get the job, then this is the minimum you're going to have to pay, which is our trip charge. If we get the job, you won't pay that trip charge. It just gets rolled into it and to the price. There's a way that you can construct it to be positive with it, but to make sure that you get paid, that type of thing. Okay, and that's what I consult with these people who join my consulting thing, and they can call me anytime and say, Paul, I want to do this. I want to offer this sale, or I want to offer this program. What's your thoughts? What's your advice? Okay, that's up to them whether they want me as consultant for that type of stuff. I leave that up to them, but some people do want that. Okay. All right, and so anyway, that's all I got, folks. We're going to spin the wheel, give some stuff away real quick, or put you on the list. And I kept you over as usual. So much for my lunchtime. But we're going to do a couple here and get that going. So let's go. If any of that helped you out today, great. If none of that did help you out, whatever. I don't care. All right, Angel Santos, you're in the registered drawing for Trade Hog. By the way, you saw Trade Hog today, but this was Office Hog today. This is where you can ask it anything. Marketing questions, legal questions, tax questions. That's included, folks, because the regular Trade Hog, it'll bring back information, but it's looking for codes. It's not going to be the same response that you would get from the Office Hog. So the Office Hog is included in the basic and the enhanced program. Okay. All right, so we got you down for Trade Hog drawing, Angel, okay, at the end of this month. And you can ask me any questions you want, guys, on marketing and stuff. It's not just me talking. Whatever you want to ask. I don't know if this thing is stuck on it, but we'll go with it. This seems like a trend. I'm gonna have to contact them and see if this is a trend. I don't know why. I know I got on there, but you're in a drawing for Trade Hog as well. So let's do this again. Free Paul lunch. feed Paul lunch. Oh. I'll probably be eating here at the desk anyway. I got a lot of stuff I got to do. The new coin we got coming out is going to be awesome. We got a new coin coming. Angel, you're making out like a bandit today. So you have got a wire waffle coming your way. All you got to do is send me, I think we still have them left, send me your mailing address. Send it to us here at support, SUPPORT, at fasttracksystem.com, or just go to paulabernathy.com, the website, and you can put your information in there. Either way, just let us know you got a wire waffle, and we'll get it out to you. People that don't know what a wire waffle is, it eliminates that violation of bringing all cables through one opening, which is a violation of 312.5C. This now makes you compliant. You can put up to 16, 15 favorite coin. All right, Marion. Oh, no, excuse me, Marlon. Marlon, I can't see it. Marlon, there you go. Ultimate coin. You're in the drawing for that. That is my favorite coin. I just gave one to my other brother just this weekend. I love it. Just like I said, I love flipping the coin and letting it make the decision. Okay? Just takes the stress off of it. All right, folks, that's it. I've kept you way too long today. That's all. Good luck to those who got the drawings today. Join us tomorrow. I don't know. I think Jeff has sent me an email about something he wants the series to start tomorrow. I'm not sure what it is. We'll see. I may agree with it or I may not. Okay, we'll see. I haven't fully looked at it yet, but I know he sent me something. All right. Till next time, folks, stay safe. God bless. And we'll catch you on the next episode of Coffee Hour. Thanks for joining me this morning. Now get out there and make some money, make some contacts, build your business, enhance your credibility, grow your personal growth, all those good things. Do it today. Don't wait till tomorrow. Don't wait till next week. Don't say I'll do it when I got more time. No. Do it now. Build your business. Build your relationships. Let's go.